What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. We are here once again with our daily dosage of career mode. I mean, the episodes have just come flying out thick and fast. I wouldn't, blame you if you couldn't keep up with the amount of uploads that are coming out. So I will bring you guys up to speed. We are at Toro Rosso. We are trying to bring them up from the back of the grid. It's proving to be a very difficult situation here at Toro Rosso, but with a ultimate upgrade to the chassis, weight reduction, I'm hopeful that we can turn things around in this episode. However, the AI just seems to be matching me punch for punch. Whatever upgrades I make, they seem to be able to make just as many as well, which is really, really frustrating. Racing points shooting up to, the top flight teams in this sport. So that'll be interesting to watch to see if they can get in the championship fight. But, the battle to getting the points regularly, it continues. Getting out of Q1, I don't know. It just depends on the track, really, and whether it suits me or not, as opposed to, say, the upgrades. Because some races, I feel like we make good strides. Then we turn up to the next race, and it's almost like we've gone back to square one, or even other times it feels like we've gone backwards in performance. So, it's an interesting one. Practice 2, 2.6 seconds off the pace compared to the Red Bulls. The Red Bulls are just absolutely insane. It's just, there's Formula Red Bull and then there's the rest of us, all scrapping over P3 at best. So, it's quite frustrating to have to compete with these guys. However, we will do our best. We are getting close to the ceiling of our performance, and we're not really overtaking any other cars, it seems, at the moment. But we do have, an ultimate engine upgrade still in the pipeline. We've still got a couple of ultimate aerodynamic upgrades in the pipeline that we need to do. And there's also a couple chassis things we need to do too as well. But who knows how much that'll affect our pace. We'll just have to wait and see. But now, it's time for quali.
We hope you're looking forward to today's qualifying in Hungary as much as we are. We think it's going to be a cracker.
I hope so too, Crofty. Qualifying is very, very important here. This is a very difficult track to overtake, probably right up there with Monaco. So that'll be very important to make sure we are on the pace over a singular lap. So we'll have to wait and see. In the previous episode in Germany, we weren't really struggling for tyre temperatures. So I'm hopeful that that'll be the same case here, as Germany and also Hungary are very, very harsh on the tyre temps, and it means that you can't really push all too much. However, what I can say is that we have been struggling over one lap pace with that. So I've had to make some changes to the setup. I had to lower the tyre pressures. And according to the game, if you lower the tyre pressures, it will keep the tyre temperatures down. Whether that works or not in real life, I think the game might have it wrong, because a lot of people have said that higher tyre pressures keeps the tyre temps down. I don't know. It's a little bit weird how the game can work sometimes, but we're going to press on with qualifying. Nonetheless, opening lap gets us P7 with a 1 minute 14.1. You can still see where our suffering with tyre temps. By moving the tyre pressures from one extreme to the other, it's saved us 1 degree of temperature in the tyres at the end of a flying lap. So, I mean, every little bit helps. So hopefully that'll make us a little bit more competitive, but it doesn't seem to be working at the moment. We're P19 and only ahead of our teammate at this stage. We fast forward to later on in the lap, and we've actually gained a position. We were P19, but like literally 30 seconds later we're P18. Rewind the footage and you'll be able to see it as well. I don't know how I was able to overtake Devin Butler. Now Devin Butler is in front of me again, and I'm just massively confused. Codemasters? What's going on there? But anyway, we're a 10th and a half up as we go through the final corner. Confusing as it may be, the performance is still not there. 2.1 seconds off the pace of the Red Bulls. 3/10 to the next car. It's really frustrating. I knew this was going to be a Road to Glory series, but I would have thought we would have been able to make more progress in this. This is not what I signed up for. Oh man, on a level, I am starting to question whether Toro Rosso is the team that I should be at going forward, because I can't put up with this. I am not gonna I'm not gonna commit myself to being a backmarker for the rest of this career mode series. I just can't. Like, 2.1 seconds off the pace. We had an ultimate weight reduction upgrade. That is the most potent upgrade in the game, and we are still not overtaking cars in qualifying. It's really disheartening, but I'm hoping that maybe there was the AI simulation glitch somehow creeping up there. Maybe we'll be more competitive in the race. Danny is still my teammate, not doing great pace-wise. It's just... okay, I'll be more upbeat for the race. I feel like we can come back a little bit. We always tend to be stronger. Weight reduction should look after the tyres a bit better. I'm positive. Let's see if we can make something of this race.
We've seen some astonishing Grand Prix here over the years, haven't we? The drama of 2015 is a recent example. Jenson Button's first win on a wet track in 2006, or in 1997, Damon Hill's heartbreak in the Arrows after a late gearbox failure cost him what would have been the team's only ever victory. What a wonderful place this is to come racing today. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Let's have a chat about Williams. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Keep your eyes open on the run to turn 1 and keep it clean. We want to come out in one piece. Good luck.
Okay, we will certainly do that, Jeffrey. Welcome, guys, to the grid of the Hungarian Grand Prix. We're starting in P20 today. I don't know if you noticed right at the end of qualifying there, or after qualifying, I decided to take a couple engine penalties. Well, more than a couple. We've literally taken a brand new component all around for this car. So hopefully we're going to be right up there when it comes to, you know, getting the most out of the car. It should mean that we're, I don't know, a little bit more flexible when it comes to future races like the Monzas of the world. We're absolutely not struggling for reliability or getting these parts to the end of the season. But we may as well make the most of these things while we've got the chance, starting at the back. So that's what we're going to do. Race strategy, we're going to go from mediums to softs. It looks like it might rain towards the end as well. So hopefully we can make the most of that. And maybe get to the rain period without making a stop. We'll have to wait and see. 5 red lights. And away we go for this Hungarian Grand Prix. You might think that that's a bad start and that I've bogged down, but to be honest, I've actually just let the whole field go because I have a feeling that there might be some kind of major crash heading into turn 1. I don't know, I had a bad feeling heading into turn 1, so I just thought I'd let everyone go. They're not going to get anywhere because it's so easy to just lose time and get caught up in the first lap that we're just going to catch up anyway. So I just decided to play it safe, and we will play ourselves into the Grand Prix after the opening couple of corners. My teammate is having a go at Devin Butler, who was having a go at George Russell. He doesn't get a great run through there, and we go clean around the outside into turn 4. Thank you very much. Teammate is now dispatched of in this race, and we literally gave him about 5 seconds head start in the first sector. But regardless, not too bad so far. Next up is Devin Butler. Let's see if we can get him. He's going to be on the soft compounded tyre, so he will have the initial grip in these opening few laps. However, he'll be struggling with that tyre wear and tyre temperatures as well. So if we can get in front of him, that'll be a big scalp for us. We've recently assigned him as our new championship rival. So any kind of result we can get against him will be certainly helpful in our reputation, and also getting bonus resource points, which we should get at the end of this race as well. We passed the hard team goal. But anyway, first lap is done in the books. We're looking pretty handy here. We're not like losing touch with the cars ahead, so that's a good sign, especially since we're on a harder compounded tyre as we go the inside of George Russell into turn 1. Devin Butler opening up that hole for us, and it doesn't quite amount to anything for us at turn 1. Turn 2 though, we're trying to work him over and make him go defensive. but I didn't exactly have the grip and the aero advantage to do anything around the outside in the turn 2. So we've had to wait another lap to lap 3 now, which is where we are. George is looking a little bit weak here in the middle sector, and as we look backwards, you can see we got the inside into the chicane. He leaves us a little bit of space, and we're going to take that around the outside into the middle sector. We'll have the inside for the next right-hander, and we've made it work for us there. P18 in this Hungarian Grand Prix. A very unorthodox move, but you got to get creative when it's quite difficult to overtake around this place, and we have done so. Next up is Grosjean. Nice voice break. I can't help but get excited when we're pulling off moves like that. But anyway, this time around, we should have DRS, which we're going to make the most of. We've underfueled the car quite a bit, and that is to give us a bit of a pace advantage early on. We're not really going to need to use rich fuel mixture all too much, only on the straight really, and so we may as well save the tyres, save the fuel and everything in areas that don't really matter. We get a nice run through turn 1 and a nice straight exit, and that gave me the punch I needed in turn 2. Up the inside, or I think it was around the outside, I can't even remember now. It was only 5 seconds ago, but here's the replay. Actually making contact with George Russell there. I had no idea he was up my inside. I was too busy focusing on Grosjean here that I nearly could have wiped myself out because of my lack of spatial awareness. We squeezed Grosjean into turn 2. That was intentional to make sure that he would kind of back out of it and give me a better chance of having a better run through turn 2. It has worked, and now we're into P17 with Lewis Hamilton, our defending champion in P16. It's absolutely unbelievable. It seems like I'm a bit of a curse, it seems, for my F1 2019 career mode team. So whatever team I go to just has absolutely no form after I leave them. But meanwhile, that is the big train of cars that is up ahead, headed by one of the Williams. I think it's Charles Leclerc. I didn't exactly pay attention when we were focused on him a few seconds ago, but pace at this stage seems to be pretty handy. We are now closing in on Lewis. Just finding time each and every lap. The tyre wear, although it is there and noticeable, the fuel that is coming off the car, the weight that is being shredded from this car every single minute is enough to make us go faster every single lap. So it's giving us a good amount of confidence. I didn't really feel like the car felt great on heavy fuel, but as the fuel load comes down, I feel like we're becoming even more and more competitive as this race goes on. Of course, I feel like our tyre wear is a little bit better than those teams immediately around us, so that is obviously helping as this race wears on. Lap 9 now, as we head on to lap 10, we're putting the pressure on Hamilton here. I was sitting behind him for a couple of laps, but now we're decided to up the ante a little bit around the outside into turn 1, and we leave Lewis plenty of space, but we get the move done anyway, and we are through now for P16. Devin Butler really has moved forward in this Grand Prix quite a lot. He's in P15 on his soft compound tyres. He's a good few seconds up the road, so we'll see.
Butler is ahead of you. They're on all softs. Their tyres are 9 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was 1 minute 18.5. You're falling back by 1/10 a lap.
Just seeing what the pace is of Devin Butler. He's a 10th a lap faster than us, but on this lap in particular, we're up by 2.5 tenths, so based on that reckoning, we might actually be faster than him now. You would expect that as well, given that the crossover period is pretty much here. Devin is into the pit lane to get rid of those soft compound tyres, and we jump a lot of runners in the midfield to move up inside the top 10. We've got a McLaren, we've got Pierre Gasly in there, I think one of the Williams. Who else is in there? Someone else, I think maybe one of the Alfa Romeos heading the front of the midfield is also in. We see Kimi Räikkönen responding on the next lap, promoting us up to P7. So a lot of runners who are on softs, and we're not too far up the road, have now made their stops, and some of which have actually put on the hard compounded tyre, which might, I don't know, put them at a bit of a disadvantage for the rest of this race. As you can see, Lando Norris getting overtaken by Nico Hülkenberg, who was just freshly come out of the pit lane on the mediums. Norris is in the same boat as me. He's the leader of the medium starters in this race. So I'm going to see if I can make some inroads on him. But at this stage, the race is going quite well for us. You can see Magnussen is ranging up onto the back of us. We are not going to fight this. He is way faster than us But we're looking good for the rain period, potentially.
Expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now.
And there you go. Right on cue, the engineer gives us that vital update that we need in terms of the rain hitting. So 10 to 15 minutes away. Let's have a look at the tyre wear. I think it's about halfway, yeah, 50% on the left rear tyre, which is the worst. 10 to 15 minutes, that's probably about 7, 8, 9 laps. We should be able to make that. So if we can hold on to this track position, then we are looking very, very good for not only a couple of points, but a good chunk of points in this race. I'm going to fight now for the rest of this race to see if I can keep Charles Leclerc behind on the hard, given that he's on a slower tyre, and it's very, very difficult to overtake around this place. I rate my chances of keeping this guy behind. We just need to use all of our fuel and all of our battery on this start-finish straight, and we should be able to keep him at bay. You can see side by side as we head into turn 1. There was a bit of contact there between myself and Charles. It was very close, but we managed to keep him at bay. Turn 2, though, I'm under a bit of pressure as I had to really fight tooth and nail to hold on to that, but we're still holding down P5 at the moment. Again, this is the next lap, on board with Charles. We're just moving all over the place, trying to break that slipstream. This time around, he's not close enough to have a lunge into turn 1, and we live to fight another day. But now, the rain is here. 10 laps to go in this race, and we are holding down P5 in this Hungarian Grand Prix. This is going to be, if we can hold on to it, the best result of the season by a mile. As we can see, Charles going around the outside into turn 1. We're up the inside. Charles turns in anyway to make contact, and looks like we're just about going to hold on, are we? Goes defensive into turn 2. We are really having to fight hard here against the Williams to make sure we can hold on to P5. The rain is here, but I need it to start raining a little bit heavier to keep myself in the game here. We're side by side now with Sergio Perez, who is now having a go at us into turn 4. And again, we just about hold on there. The straight line speed of this Honda is just keeping us in the game here. Lap 27, going defensive. Here comes Sergio. We're going to defend to the inside. This seems to be working for us. We're lucky in the fact that it isn't an overly long straight, and we're just about able to hold on. Lap 27, still lap 27, sorry. And it looks like we're getting dangerously close to that crossover period for intermediate tyres. It might even come at this lap. Yes, it is. Right on cue. End of lap 28. We're in for the inters, and we have made it, crucially, to this period of the race without losing any track position. 70% on the left rear tyre. So a couple more laps, and we would have been in danger of a puncture. But it's pit stop time. Hopefully we don't lose a spot here. We get a better stop than the Williams, which is crucial. Charles Leclerc has a double stack, which will throw him down the order massively. Look at all the cars in the pit lane. This is an unbelievable strategy, which has worked out well for us. 6 laps to go in this Hungarian Grand Prix, and the fact that we've made it to this point without losing track position is absolutely crucial, because now we're on level pegging with the Williams behind us, and there's no DRS for them to aid them in overtaking us on the start-finish straight. So the fact that we've made it to this point means that the job is almost already done, because we were defending on much older tyres. They had the DRS to aid them. They couldn't overtake us. We did our absolute best to fend them off for those 10 laps that they were trying to attack us. And now the ball is well and truly in our court with the track position. You can see that someone has retired up ahead. It is one of the Alfa Romeos. I believe it is Kevin Magnussen, which promotes us up into P4 in this Hungarian Grand Prix. 3 laps left to go in this race, and if we can hold on, this will be the best result of the season by a mile. I don't even know what the best result previously was. I think it might have been a P7 at France. So this will do our championship a world of good. Devin Butler and Lance Stroll are a good 10 points ahead of me, and if I can pull this off, I think we might jump 1 or 2 of those guys. As you can see, Max Verstappen continues the tit-for-tat battle between himself and his teammate Lucas Weber. He now takes the lead of the drivers' standings. A fascinating drivers' championship unfolding for the 2 Red Bulls, but for us it is going to be absolute celebration in the Toro Rosso garage today. This has been a masterful strategy We've been so patient today. We've showed really good consistency, not made any mistakes. And at the end of the day, we're going to come away with a P4. Very lucky, but we put ourselves in the right position to get there.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Rain always has the potential to liven up a race and mix up the order, and they've taken full advantage of that to claim the victory today. It's always a bit of a lottery when the conditions are like this, but they've managed to stay on circuit and have come out on top.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
How many times have we seen these three on the podium together? Lucas Weber, Max Verstappen, absolutely dominant this season. But Nico Hülkenberg has been rather consistent in P3 this season. I feel like he's always been there or thereabouts. Sebastian Vettel has had a shaky season. He got P6 today. Yeah, it was a weird one. We were the only one in the field to pull off the one stop, which certainly aided us in holding on to our track position. There were a few runners inside the top 10 who started on softs. They pitted, and then they got held up by people on mediums, people like my teammates and the Ferraris, and so they really got held back in this race. Even so too with the Williams, like they stopped quite early, but they had to overtake a few cars, and then that really held them up, and they finally caught up to me, and then the rain hit. So from their end, a very unlucky race, but for us, absolute celebration. I don't think I could have got any better if I would have rerun that race another 100 times. That was an incredible result. It moves us up to P12 in the standings. We do jump Lance Stroll. Devin Butler picks up a couple of points as well, which keeps him away from me for the time being. But we are knocking on the door of the top 10 now in the driver's standings. We are knocking on the door of overtaking a Ferrari driver or two. We're solidifying P7 in the constructors. It was a slow burner in the opening few races, but now we are getting a roll on in terms of some points. And I hope that this is the start of many, with Spa and Monza coming up. Two circuits which should theoretically suit us down to a T, but you never quite know with the AI and what kind of upgrades they've got on the horizon. So, yeah, we'll see how we go in the next couple of races. A good bank of resource points coming in. The good result will certainly give us a big boost, but we also have the 600 point boost from passing the hard team goal. But yeah, what a result. Leave a like if you enjoyed that. Subscribe to the channel if you need to see plenty more racing game content. We're now going to do some upgrades now. We've got 2,296 points to spend. And I felt like in that race, we were lacking with downforce, so that will be an area that we do target. Unfortunately, we can't go for the ultimate front downforce upgrade. That'll have to wait a little bit, but what I will go for is the front minor downforce upgrade, and that'll be a handy little upgrade heading into Spa. It's a nice high downforce circuit, so that'll be something we target, but at the moment, or at the time that I was filming, I was really having a good think about what I wanted to do upgrade-wise with the car. I could have gone for an ultimate engine upgrade, which would have gone on the car without any failures. However, it would come in for the Singapore Grand Prix, and we'd bypass the two power tracks that we've got coming up. So it wasn't an upgrade that I thought was going to be efficient for us. So what I have gone for is minor front downforce. We've gone for a major brake upgrade, which will go on the car in time for the Italian Grand Prix. Brakes are very important there. We found that out last season at Ferrari. And what we're also going to do is a DRS upgrade, which is something I never really do. Now, given that we're heading to Spa and Monza, it'll help us in qualifying, having even less drag. But it'll also aid us in overtaking whenever we open the DRS. So, not the most conventional upgrade to apply to the car in the world, but I feel like at those two particular race circuits, it's a good medium that we could use to boost us. Other worthy mentions would have been a ERS upgrade. I don't really feel like we're lacking too much in terms of ERS, so I decided against that. I could have gone for a tyre wear upgrade, but Spa and Monza aren't exactly harsh on tyre wear either. So I felt like DRS would have given us the best bang for our buck in terms of the resource points that we did have remaining with those upgrades. So with that said, we got a good amount of upgrades heading our way for the next race, which I'm looking forward to. The Belgian Grand Prix. I'm hoping that my teammate can be competitive now with this newfound package we've got on the way, but you never quite know. I really do hope the other teams slow down in terms of upgrades now so that we can really make the inroads that we're after, but I would imagine that they're going to follow suit with us, punch for punch, every race from here on in. So, that'll be annoying, but that's just what we have to deal with. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next race, the Belgian Grand Prix, I'll see you next time.